Hey there, folks. Happy Saturday. Quentin here, Mask Ramen on the internet. I just finished reading the complete sort of Infinite Crisis here, issues 1 through 7. This is a great book by Geoff Johns and a bunch of artists here. Very well written. Geoff Johns sort of got me into DC Comics because I followed him from the Avengers when he wrote the Red Zone books when the She-Hulk went crazy. So this is sort of like I realized who Geoff Johns was, and this Infinite Crisis already passed me by. I did get them on a trade, but I also did get the stuff leading to it, like the Rann Thanagarian War. I got the Olmec Project, the Crisis of Conscience, and because I was so interested in DC, because I had primarily been like, I started off with the X-Men, Marvel stuff. I was only ever familiar with DC in terms of like the animated show, like Batman the Animated Series, Super Friends. That's sort of how I knew DC. But this and the Green Lantern, who's also written by Geoff Johns, brought me into the DC fold. And it's funny because Batman was always like my favorite character when I was a kid, because the Batman, not just the animated series, but also the Adam West Batman show. I was so super into that when I was really super young. So getting into DC and getting to Geoff Johns, Dan DiDio, because I credit Dan DiDio for my love of DC characters. But this book and the things that followed this were really great, and I'd primarily been just collecting DC or reading DC comic books around 2008 or 9, something like that, whenever these sort of came out. So yeah, I went through like the Teen Titans and stuff, the Flash stuff, all because of what I read here. And I gave 2 issues out of here, I believe, a 10 out of 10. The number 3 and the final issue, I believe, because reading this, you kind of get a little bit confused. I never really read Crisis on Infinite Worlds or something like that, the OG Crisis. I never read that stuff. I know there's some sort of throwback stuff to it, and there's a lot of DC characters in here that I still don't really know. But not knowing got me excited for comics in a long time, you know what I mean? And this still does excite me, Really great read, really great artwork. Specifically, Phil Jimenez, Ivan Rice, and of course George Perez. And Jerry Ordway, it was nice to see him drawing. I know he's sort of like an old school guy, and you can kind of tell his pages, but it's still good, you know what I mean? Still great artwork from him too, But yeah, this, if anything, you could just sort of pick this up as a cold read, you know what I mean? And learn from this, go back like I did, to get all these other books that they were at the time. And I'm super excited because I could see here through the advert in this book that the Superman Infinite Crisis is out there, which I've never read. I plan on getting that right there. Just because Infinite Crisis and the things that followed it were really great. Blue Beetle is one of my favorite things that came out of here. Nightwing, although so seemingly unimportant, played a very vital role in this book in terms of giving Connor Kent the sort of leadership and the friendship and the humanity that he needed to fight Superboy, and in the end, um, brought the heroes together. Because when they're not together, the Trinity, when they're not together, all hell breaks loose, and that's really, they are really the backbone of DC Comics here. So pick this up whenever it is you get the chance, and until next time, God bless.